Hi guys, Gareth here and welcome to this Vino Plonk production. Now I do remember I promised you guys I would unbox, or rather uncellophane, my book box set of A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin, and why not do it now after my previous video of talking about fake Game of Thrones Blu-ray box sets. Let's actually unbox a original, true non-fake book box set. I haven't got anything with me to slice this open, which is an oversight, I will admit that. However, I am just gonna go at this and hope that, although there's a hanger down here, randomly there's a hanger, and I might be able to use said hanger to pierce. There we go. When in doubt, use a hanger. So we're going to uncellophane. Sorry, not the camera there. Sorry if this sort of goes out of frame. I will put it back into frame afterwards. But there you go. There's the books uncellophaned, and on the cellophane itself is this message saying inside is a free map of Westeros and the Free Cities. Here is the rather nice box set of The Song of Ice and Fire. So I'm going to tip it and I'm going to start getting out some of the books. I don't want them all to just tip out. I just want to get them out enough so I can have purchase on them. There we go. So this is a Clash of Kings. These are big books, aren't they? There you go. Clash of Kings. You've got the spine there that has silver writing. Very nice. Oh, so there we go. I was actually worried that the books were damaged. In fact, that book is actually ever so slightly... Nope, it's not damaged. It's just fluff. I don't know what this is. It's like stuck to the box. Strange. Anyway, so we have a Clash of Kings. There's the back of the Clash of Kings. And we do have some... I've forgotten what they're called when people comment on something else. Yeah, I'm doing well at the moment. We have Game of Thrones, which is of course the first book, which is the title given to the series, despite the fact the series does follow all of the books. I'm not sure quite why they did that, but hey ho. Like a lot of people, I can imagine when I start reading these books, I'm going to get as annoyed as other people. Why on earth HBO didn't just follow the names of the books for the series, although I have heard, because as I said, I've only seen series 1 of Game of Thrones. I have heard that from season 2 onwards, it does say based on A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin, or based on a Game of Thrones, or what have you. So if they're willing to do that, then fair enough. I'm going to stack these up in order if they go in the box, otherwise I'll probably forget. Next up, we've got A Storm of Swords, 1, Steel and Snow. Jon Snow. Sorry. Dear. It's actually quite funny because I've been playing quite a bit of Civilization 6 recently, and Sean Bean is actually narrator on Civilization 6, so it's actually quite funny. Anyway, I was sad. Spoiler alert, massive spoiler alert actually for season 1, and I'm, what can I do? I'll hold up my road pouch. If you haven't seen season 1 of Game of Thrones, then, mute and then unmute when I drop the pouch. So you've got 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. I was really upset, I have to say, in the first season when Ned Stark died. Although I have heard from some people he may be back in later seasons, so that would be cool. There we go, spoiler over. So, we're going to move on to A Storm of Swords 2, Blood and Gold. One thing that kind of annoys me about books, but hey, it comes with the territory, and as I read more books, I'll probably get used to this, hopefully, is these are paperback books, and they look lovely, brand new. They look absolutely gorgeous, brand new. Now, Oh, there you go. Actually, it says on the back. So, this, I'm trying to think. Brain fart, guys. Massive brain fart. It's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Anyway, as I was going to say and completely forgot what I was going to say, this box set is on Amazon for £29.99, £30. Now, £30 for 7 books is a steal. Comes in at about, what, £2 per book? No. I can't do maths right now. So at £21, it'd be £3 per book, and it's £9 more expensive. Say you're talking, what, £4 or £5 a book, which is actually probably the price. Actually, all of these cost £9.99 in the UK. Stuff me. Anyway, apparently these are all £9.99 in the UK. Is that gonna focus? Yes, it is. There we go. So there you go, £9.99 in the UK, and now I need to focus back on the box set, which it did automatically for me. Thank you, camera. You're actually behaving for me, and I knocked it again. This is a very professional video, I'm sure everyone would agree, but the problem with Uncelefaning unboxings is they're a one-time thing. I can't reshoot this, really. So you get what you're given, basically. There are plenty of other people that unboxed this on camera that probably did a far better job than I did, so by all means go and seek those out if this is not your cup of tea, as they say. So yeah, these are about, let's say, £5 per book, which seems to be half the price the books are recommended retail. Now, as I said in a previous video, I was actually going to look at buying these piecemeal, or maybe buying the hardcover of each of these books. And the reason for that is because they look really nice brand new, but when you start reading these, you're going to get lines down the spine, and of course you're going to get all raggedy, because that's what happens when you read books. The reason why I opted for the big box set is, I kid you not, on Amazon, the second book, that one, Clash of Kings, was £17.99, and I do believe that the first book was like £12 or something stupid like that, which, sorry, but I'm very much one of these people that when I was growing up, whenever I walked into Waterstones, which is a bookshop chain here in the UK, if I saw a paperback book, a standard paperback book, I mean these are quite large, that was more than £6.99, sorry, I didn't buy it. However, there were occasions where I would spend £35 on a book, and actually I do have a big old Harry Potter page to screen book that also cost me the best part of 40 quid. There are exceptions to that rule, as there are with any rule, but for the most part, anything above, say 7-8 quid on a book for me is pushing it a little bit. But there are occasions where I have gone against my own rules on that one, so I suppose I'm a hypocrite like everybody. Right, so A Feast for Crows, it's the next book in the series. The reason why I'm not saying, well, of course it's the 5th book in this set, but it's the 4th book as far as the series is concerned. So there we go, Feast of Crows. And then next up we have A Dance of Dragons 1 and 2. First one's called Dreams and Dust, and the next one is called After the Feast. There we go. Very, very nice. And as it drops down, we have the map of Westeros. Now, I'm not going to get this whole thing out, or maybe I am. I wasn't going to get this whole thing out, so A, I'm not sure if it's going to fit on frame, and B, I'm not sure if I can get it back together again, but there you go. You get a good representation of Westeros and the 3 cities, and you've got the house signs or insignias in the 4 corners. There we go. And the reason why they put this in there is because a lot of people have said it's hard to keep track when you're reading the books. So if that's up on your wall, you can keep track of where you are, because the way the books work is each chapter is divided into, each chapter is a point of view from a different person, different character in the series. and it jumps back and forth as far as timelines are concerned. So say for instance you've got a chapter called Jon Snow or Ned Stark or Cersei Lannister or any of the characters in this series. You could have one chapter on Joffrey and then another chapter from Cersei, but Cersei could be talking like 2 years ago or 3 days ago or what have you, or she could just be recounting the events from Joffrey's perspective, from the Joffrey perspective, but in her own perspective. I'm just using that as an example. And this is when all of the Game of Thrones / Song of Ice and Fire fans come out with pitchforks, because I just dare to suggest that maybe Cersei and Joffrey are somehow connected. How dare I? How dare I be so indignant to not know whether they are whether they're friends or relatives. I know they're not relatives, but hey ho. Well, I don't think they're relatives. I haven't seen the series, as I've said, haven't read the book, so beats me. I mean, one thing I will say, and obviously I'm about to get into the whole series, so I'm being a bit hypocritical by saying this. One thing I will say is things like Game of Thrones, and what's a big thing right now? I suppose Game of Thrones is the biggest thing right now. The Westworld kind of became a bit of a big thing, but a bit of a brief fart, I would call Westworld. It's almost within certain communities, it's almost a given, almost required that you know about Game of Thrones, and as such, there are some arseholes out there that if you don't know about it, will deliberately spoil it, or spoil it, or they'll just be an arsehole about it. Oh, you don't watch Game of Thrones. Oh, it's one of the most best and well done shows ever made. How can you not watch it? I thought you were a fan of shows and TV and movies. It does get on my nerves. However, as I just said, I'm a bit of a hypocrite in that sense, because if I was truly a rebel and truly someone who wanted to push back against those people, I wouldn't have gone ahead and just bought 5 of the box sets in Blu-ray and bought the whole book set. I would have not done that and still rebelled against them. But having said that, I do want to watch the show, I do want to read the books, and obviously, as I've said to plenty of people in my own personal life, and I've said to you guys on camera, is the next 2 books. The books continue on after the series has finished, or season, what have you, show has finished, and or ceased to be, as I was about to say. And also, the 8th season of Game of Thrones is only based upon the outline of the next 2 books. It's going to be interesting where that goes. Anyway, I've now uncellophaned Game of Thrones, so there you go, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed me uncellophaning Game of Thrones and taking a look at this, to be frank, quite gorgeous box set. I am extremely annoyed that I missed out on the leather cloth wrapped hardcovers of these. Oh, that's the last thing I was going to say, is that yes, A Storm of Swords and A Dance of Dragons is split into 2 books. Depending on what version you buy this box set or these books, you may have just one big book of A Dance of Dragons, say for instance, or it may be split into 2, depending on what box set you buy. It really does depend. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. If you could, for me, like, dislike on this video, depending on your feelings. If they're more complicated, then please put a comment down into the comment section down below. As I do like to say, YouTube is a social media platform. Let's make it social. Let's take it back from the trolls. And if you haven't already, please you can stick around by pressing the subscribe button. You can stay up to date with what I do by pressing the bell icon. That will enable you to receive a notification to your device of choice every time I upload a video. And as always, guys, you've been a very patient and supportive audience. And until next time, please take care. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.